Alright, so I'm going to do something that's a wee bit unusual today. I'm going to make some pork meatballs. But I am going to boil them, so I'm going to poach them rather than fry them, because it's a wee change from frying things. So I'm going to make up a wee bit of stock. This is bouillon powder, vegetable bouillon powder. It's really nice, and it says on it that you can make a stock or a hot drink. So if it can make a hot drink, then it should be quite tasty and quite nice. So this is really good. This makes nice soups and things like that. And I'm actually going to start getting they do a low salt version of this, but when you look at the ingredients, the first ingredient is sea salt. If you get the low salt version, the first ingredient is sugar, so they just replace it with the salt with sugar. So I went out and I was hoping to get, I bought parsley, bought another big load of parsley, because I was hoping to do cod and parsley sauce. But when I went to the supermarket, they didn't have any cod or any fish, any white fish, because it's a bank holiday today, bank holiday Monday, and it's a bank holiday, and it was a bank holiday on Friday. So it's the shelves are bare in the supermarket. So what I got instead was pork mince, because this looked quite good. So what I'll do with this, I'll do this 3 different ways. This pork mince. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make up some wee meatballs. I'm going to poach them in the stock, and then I'm going to do a burger, so a pork burger, and basically that's going to be the same mixture. And I'm going to as well do a pork stir fry, a stir fry that's very similar to the pork chop stir fry I did yesterday. But I wanted to show you that you can use pork mince to do a stir fry, because a lot of people wouldn't really think of that. So I'm going to do this meat first, just to think about the quantities. So I would maybe do a stir fry. So basically I want to leave enough for one stir fry, and then we'll do the mixture for the rest. And it kind of works out okay, because I've got mushrooms, I've got these peppers, so it's okay to be doing this. If I was to do the fish and parsley sauce, then I wouldn't be using these peppers and things, so they would be sitting a wee bit longer. I reckon that would do one good stir fry. So put that in the container actually. Put my head in that. Yeah, you can use minced beef as well in stir fries. People didn't really realise that until fairly recently. But minced beef works well in a stir fry. Just normal minced beef, like I mean minced potatoes. It works pretty well, but the minced pork works really, really well. Again, obviously you've got to watch for the hygiene of pork, avoid cross-contamination. So I turned my chopping board over because it was bowed down the way like that, so the knife wasn't connecting, the board was kind of going underneath it. So I flipped it over. This is just a piece of old wood worktop from my last house, and I just attached this wee piece of wood onto the bottom, rather than putting a wet cloth underneath it. I just nailed this wee strip of wood underneath it, and it just hooks. So that's the other side. It needs a good sand, but I just flipped it over. I'll sand that another time. I turned it over like that, and hopefully the chopping should work better, and I gave it a sand as well. But we just want to chop these up fairly small. It's working better already. So I think I'll just do basically the same mixture for the meatballs and the burger, but just, you know, cook them in two. So just cook them in two separate ways. I'll fry the burger just as normal. So I was making these meatballs and I thought, you know, I'm always frying stuff. So I was looking for just a slightly healthier way. I was wondering if there was a healthier way to do it. And I thought, why not poach them in some stock? That's pretty good. Go quite fine. We're going to, you know, scrunch these up. And what's good about this is if you if you poach these, if you poach a couple of these, you can just kind of leave them in the stock. And if you poach, like say 6, poach all 6 and then have 3 and then leave the 3 in the stock, let it cool and then reheat it again later on, and it just, the flavours just get better. It's quite a good way to do it. Spring onion. Just a good sprinkle of that, probably about maybe just a good tablespoon maybe, just so it tastes nice. Use all of these. And got a wee bit of garlic and ginger through it as well, why not? It's basically just vegetables, herbs, garlic and ginger putting through it. So kind of go easy on the garlic in this actually. I know I normally put quite a lot through. I'm just going to put one clove through. tend not to use anything to bind it together or anything. You just squeeze it and it just sort of folds together fine. Because I went into the fruit and veg shop, I bought parsley first of all, and then I went to the supermarket to look for fish. But because I did it that way around, then when I got to the supermarket and I realised there was no fish, then I was stuck with this parsley. So actually, they were selling coriander in the fruit and veg shop, and I really should have got that, because this would actually be better, I think, with coriander. These stir fries, the burger and the meatballs, will all be better with the coriander, but parsley's absolutely fine. I'm just going to put some of these stalks through it as well. Pretty good. Quite a lot of parsley through it. But not the elastic band. So that's, put some spices through it as well. So we've got maybe some herbs, some dried herbs. So we've got peppers, chillies, spring onions, garlic, ginger, loads of parsley. What else would be good? Actually, lemon zest. Let's get some lemon zest through that as well. Hot water coming through. This is just a normal lemon, but so that means it's got wax on it, I think. So you need to kind of run it under a hot tap, give it a wipe, and melt off some of that pointless wax that they put on it. Give that a rasp. Clean up. I've actually got enough water in there, but we'll get right. So is that everything? Salt. Pinch of salt. Kind of thinking fennel seeds. Don't know if I've got any though. Bit of salt. Pinch of pepper. Fennel would be quite good actually. Pork and fennel go together well, but don't think I've got any. There we go. No, I don't have any fennel seeds. Was that at the time? I don't have any fennel seeds, but I've got some cumin seeds that I know are quite old, so I'm just going to use them up. Fennel seeds would be ideal. So what am I going to do now? I'm going to because once my hands are in that, they're going to be dirty. I think we'll just go for it and we'll make up a few, and then we'll just leave the mixture container for that. One's too big and one's too small. It's going to be way too big, but that's all I've got. So just get your hands in, give it a good mix. So I'm just going to use this same mixture to make a few meatballs, poach them in that stock. The lemon's coming through, it's really tasty, really smooth. It smells really nice already, the lemon's coming right out. After saying I don't do raw meat on this board, then I get raw meat on the board, so I need to clean that. I'm going to do them fairly small so they cook fairly quickly. Make that, just do this a little bit big. Should have turned that up first actually, but it's okay. As long as you just kind of take care of them, don't smash them around too much. They'll hold their shape. They don't need any eggs or anything. I never really use eggs for things like binding things together, or egg washing things. I tend to not really do that because to me an egg is like a whole dinner. It's like I can make a whole meal out of one egg. I'm actually going to get more out of this than I thought I would. That's okay. So I'm just going to fill it so there's one layer of balls. Either do 10 or 12. So yeah, maybe do 10, and that's 5 in a portion. That's 2 portions. Right. Yeah, 5 per portion, that'll do for now. So I'll put this in here. So this mixture I'm going to use actually to make these meatballs. I'll use a smaller container, but as well for a burger, just frying it up for a pork burger. Really good. And I'm just going to have this on top of some of the reheated rice that I made yesterday, just with using some of that liquid, just pouring that over. I need to turn the temperature up a bit. Crank that up again. Look at it. Got some bits of raw meat onto this, so we need to give it a good clean. So they will take a few minutes to do, so I may actually cut back. I'll show you what I'm going to do with the rice, and then I might actually just cut back to that. I'm going to let that cook. In fact, I'm going to. So all I'm going to do is reheat some rice. So these are going to take, you need these obviously to cook right through, so these are going to take a wee while. These will probably take a good 10-15 minutes. Let's do the old trick of looking at the clock. So I'm going to cut back actually, we're just going to let them cook, and I'll be back at some point shortly. Alright, so that's about, I think, 15 minutes. All I did was tidy up, just let these poach away with the lid on it. You can check it, you can check one of them quite easily. We'll just make sure that it is cooked. A couple of bits of ginger come out, that's okay. See, they hold their shape fine. So basically just drop a knife through it and make sure it's nice and hot, and right in the centre. That's really hot, that's burning my finger, that, so that's really hot in the centre. So that's done. Just touch the centre. You can tell by the colour it's consistent all the way through. And when you touch the centre of it, if it's really hot, if it's burning hot, then it's done. So that's these are comfortably done. So all I'm going to do with these is dead easy. Turn that off now. I'm just going to heat up some of the rice that I did yesterday. Should use a spoon, but you know, it doesn't matter. I'm cooking for myself. If I was cooking for somebody else, I would use a spoon. This is just some of the rice. Yeah, cooking the rice that way, it does clump a wee bit, but it's fairly separate and not clumped. Every time. It's 1 minute 30. I do it with my fingers because when I worked in the Chinese restaurant, one of my jobs was when they boiled the rice and then they let it cool, for it to be made ready for fried rice, I had to break it all up, break all these lumps up. So that was one of my jobs. It wasn't my only job, but one of my jobs was to break the rice up. That's why I just kind of still use my fingers, just instinctively just use my fingers. And all I'm going to simply do is just put the meatballs on top and put a wee bit of liquid on it, and that's it. Just a slightly different way of doing meatballs. It's really nice. The lemon comes through. Taste the parsley. Nice and light and fresh. You don't get that kind of hard, you know, that heavy friedness, which we will be doing actually when we do the burger. Touch the bottom and it's really hot, and I know it's done. So yeah, I think I said 5, didn't I? So all you do is you just drop these on top of the rice and that's it. This is half one. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So a very simple wee bit of lunch. But this, so what all I'm going to do with this now, just pour that over. You're almost creating a wee kind of soup with this, with the rice as well. I eat that with a spoon actually. So that's it. Maybe I've actually done a couple more, but anyway. Put a spoonful of this on it. So there you go. So that's your poached meatballs. Poached meatballs on rice. I wonder if put a wee touch of soy sauce on it. Just a couple of wee drips on a couple of them. So they're slightly different. But yeah, no, and it's quite a nice wee light bit of lunch. Yeah, and that's it done.